All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 11th episode for The Walking Dead Season 10. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on a deleted scene. Confirmed Laura and Eugene had sex? What? And then we'll give our thoughts on some of the actress's exit, interviews from playing Laura on The Walking Dead. And I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check this one out from comicbook.com. And it is an interview with the actress who played Laura that we just recently found out was killed off in The Walking Dead due to a brutal beating that she suffered at the hands of Beta. Just brutal, man. And most people, I think, after we watched the episode, we didn't... this is one thing Talking Dead is good for, is that they were able to confirm for us that, yes, in fact, that was Laura's death scene. Beta actually does beat her to death. I mean, it's brutal, right? Freaking brutal. I wish that they had gone a different direction with it. I wish that he had just, roughed her down, knocked her out or something like that. That's kind of what I thought. It's weird enough that in Walking Dead, a lot of these times we think characters are dead and they happen to be under dumpsters or things like this, and it's a fake out and stuff like this. But this is like opposite case scenario. I don't think anybody wanted to see her be killed off by, the 6 foot, whatever, 7 tall monster Beta in such a merciless and brutal fashion. So it's kind of sad, but we got some interviews here with her that we can go ahead and go through and give our thoughts on. So it says, as it turns out, one of these scenes was quite okay. So this is about the sex scene between. So she answered a bunch of stuff, and we'll get into a few other things that she said later because she said some different interviews now that she's being killed off of the show. And I think the actress's name is, I think you say Lindsley. So it's not Lindsay. I think it's Lindsley. Register, okay, who plays Laura. And now, Laura in the comic book series did have somewhat of a longer kind of journey, but in the comic book version, you had Dwight there, so you're able to kind of set up there's a relationship between Laura and Dwight. In the TV series version, they go to Fear, and so you have Dwight in Fear, and you have Sherry, who is, I want to say, a different interpretation, and it's probably going to be different in Fear than she was. So unfortunately for Laura, it sounds like they made a decision that they were gonna kind of kill her off there. And then you guys can let me know what you think about the death in the comments below, as confirmed on Talking Dead. So she had said that there were scenes of me and Rosita starting to become friends, where she and I kill zombies together. I saved her life at one point, she explained, and we filmed a really fun scene where me and Eugene get it on. So this is fun, right? So it says the episode was back in season 8 when Eugene was still working as a mole within the Saviours, but members of the audience were unsure of where he stood in terms of the of alliance with either Rick or Negan. Do you guys remember that? It says, quote, one day I'm on set and our director is like, I can't tell you why, but you're going to love the next episode's script, Register said. Quote, I get it, and there's this scene where Eugene's in the Saviours compound and the walkers have gotten in. I think we're going to die, so I come into his room and we have sex. I'm like, don't think too highly of this. I'm only doing this because we're going to die. He's all shaken. It was so funny. And then it says, knowing the character, such a moment, and specifically the dialogue, is not hard to imagine. So, oh man, that sounds so funny, right? So, how come they didn't give that? How come they cut that? Of all the things to cut from season 8, because there's so many people who, complain about season 8, but that sounds gold, man. That sounds like that would have been really funny. And then, we could have answered the question differently of whether or not Eugene is a virgin. Apparently he isn't. I guess apparently him and Laura got it on at the sanctuary. However, it was cut. Now, this is one thing that pisses me off, because I bought the season 8 on DVD or Blu-ray, one of the two. It's somewhere in here. It's somewhere around here. I don't know where I got it. It's here somewhere. Trust me. You've seen it before. You guys know it. But I'm pretty sure I did not see that scene in the deleted scenes. So this is a tricky one, right? you have a fun deleted scene that probably should have been in the episode. I'm not sure why they would have cut it, because that sounds really funny. But I do remember that a lot of the episodes in season 8 were really extended and were really long. It was a weird thing. It was like almost every episode was extended, or almost every episode was long, and it made season 8 like way longer than it probably should have been by like a couple episodes. It was like a 16 episode season, but there was so many extended episodes. It was almost like 18 episodes if you count all the extended time. But to find out that there was a deleted scene between Laura and Eugene, and that they do it. Why didn't they include that? That's so much fun. I can't believe they didn't. But in addition to that, even after, like in this last season and that, we don't have any scenes where Eugene approaches her and does, and you tend to think that that's just gold, man. I can't believe they cut that. You have maybe like some comedy stuff where Eugene approaches her and maybe she attacks him or something. So you tell anybody, I'll fucking kill you, or just something like that. That would have been so easy to do some good scenes with that. So are we to take this as it is canon that Eugene is not a virgin and that him and Laura did get it on and we just didn't get to see it? Or are we to interpret this as it was a deleted scene and we can't take it as canon because it's something they chose not to go that direction for one reason or another? It could even be something as simple as like episode runtime and commercials, or having Talking Dead have more time after, or something weird like that. Like it could be something that simple as to why they didn't use it. But it sounds like a lot of the stuff that she did on set wasn't used because it would have it adds time, and it's just the way it kind of worked out. That's how it kind of went. But let me know what you guys think about that one. Should it be considered as canon now that we know that they shot it? And if they did, why the hell isn't it on the Blu-ray or DVD? Or am I missing it and I didn't realize that it was on there? Maybe I need to go back and recheck it again, because I don't think it's on there, and that sounds like a really fun thing to include. So do we consider that to be background stuff that happened that we didn't get to see, that we just don't know about, and now we do? Or do we consider that as not canon? Let me see your comments below, because really you guys are the fan base, so it's going to be up to you to decide, right? I think at this point. But that's kind of sad that they didn't use that, and then they didn't use the stuff later. But you got to understand too, right? They have a lot of, at that time anyway, in season 8, a lot of different characters, a lot of things going on. And so it's just kind of the way it worked out. Quote, it says, obviously I wanted more for Laura. I would have loved to see more, but I know that when she moved to Alexandria, she did become more of a secondary character, Register said, because, and to add on to that here, is that if you guys remember back during the Dwight stuff, where he was kind of a mole too, she had some scenes with him that were pretty important, like when she found out, didn't she, that he was a turncoat. She found out that he was inside the Saviours, but he was actually fighting for the Survivors. So do you guys remember those episodes? Because those were some of the more important ones that she had, and some of the stuff that she had to do. But I guess it's just what it is. Not everybody can kind of, pull it to the forefront, unfortunately, due to the amount of characters they have, and they're trying to balance everything, and they're trying to keep the story kind of on point. Whereas nowadays, they have all these kind of background characters and stuff in Alexandria, community members, Hilltop members, and so many of them we have like no idea who they are. Like we don't know them, their name or anything. Even if you looked it up, I'm not sure if you could even find it. That's how how in the background a lot of them are. It says, I'm a big believer in not lingering on what I can't control, so I just showed up and gave it my all. So yeah, that's true. So it's kind of sad, but what can you do? It's Walking Dead, so people are going to get killed off. It's just the name of the game. It's how it is, and nobody's really the bad guy. That's the nature of the series. That's the nature of the show, is that you have character deaths every so often, sometimes a lot of them at once, like last year with the Pikes and everything, and that's just what it is. But it says her total episode count would end up being 20. Register did reveal she was disappointed about one thing, though, not having a final encounter with Negan. So it says, quote, I did expect at some point for us to make contact, because what a charged moment that could have been, seeing Negan face-to-face with one of his former lieutenants, she said, adding, I am disappointed we won't get to see that. Oh, that would have been fun, too. They could have done some fun stuff with Laura. That's true. Both of those, which is kind of unfortunate they didn't. But, I mean, like you said, they're trying to balance all these different characters, and maybe they didn't do that because if the war was better received in 7 and 8, then they probably would have done more of that later with Negan and more of that kind of stuff. But it wasn't that well received, and so that probably has a lot to do with why they kind of wanted to maybe kind of move on from that. But you almost think that at certain times, like certain episodes where Negan kind of goes out, and then you remember the stuff with Judith where she shoots him off the bike, and that last year, and so he goes to the sanctuary and there's no one there, and he kind of comes back and everything. Maybe they could have fit something in that episode with it, but like I said, it's just different stuff, and it depends where they're going with what, and it's kind of a shame, but we can't. I guess we don't get to see everything that they actually, film, right? We don't get to see it all. And some stuff, maybe if it just doesn't fit right or whatever, doesn't actually make it to the final product. It gets cut at some point along the way. So that's as much of a sort of character tribute I think we can do for Laura from the Walking Dead television series. It is a shame they didn't use her more. I did find the death to be it was kind of shocking. But, I never usually want fake out deaths, but in that situation, because I like Beta too, maybe I would have wanted a fake out death. But what are you going to do? It's Walking Dead. You got to have deaths here and there. Whatever. Everybody who signs up for it kind of knows what they're getting into. You never know, when your number could get pulled. Even if you're Carl, right? It's like, you don't know. It's just it's the name of the game. So let me know what you guys think about that and how you feel about the death now that we have total confirmation from Talking Dead that she is in fact dead. And would you want to see more with her? And what do you think they could have done with Laura now that because Dwight and Sherry left, so they didn't have that kind of storyline to continue through, and they kind of opted to kill her off now, it sounds like. So let me know what you think. Vicro Stimpfc7 says, do a video on Daryl and Connie. I want to know what you think. Anything's going on between the two. What do you guys think? Well, yeah, I mean, for Vicro, yeah, it's pretty obvious. If you have Daryl and he's kind of learning ESL4 and stuff like that, it's pretty obvious that they're likely setting something up with that. You have him going to try and rescue her, kind of going after her, and instead running into Alpha. Putting himself in harm's way, being, I'd say, overly aggressive and almost getting himself killed in a spot that normally he wouldn't. He probably shouldn't go into that fight. He probably shouldn't take that fight. But because of what happened, he just had to go in and had to do it, even putting himself in harm's way. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that's what they're doing. And it's kind of smart, too, because Daryl is such a fan favorite among the women that you wouldn't want, you want to use a character to be with him that everybody likes. So if you go with Connie, you're not allowed politically not to like her. Well, and you have no reason not to like her either. She's really nice. She's fun. She's happy. She's positive. She's saving babies and doing shit like this. And she's got a disability. So, and she's African American. So you are absolutely not allowed not to like her. So this is brilliant, right? You have a character that you're going to put in a hot seat with Daryl because, and all the girls would get jealous because everybody loves Daryl. All the girls love Daryl, right? We all know that. That's well established 8 years ago, 9 years ago in season 2 or season 1. You tied my brother to a roof and you left him there. I don't know, even then. And so, you're not allowed not to like Connie. And so you put her with Daryl because you're going to like, there's going to be heat for anybody who's in that spot because all the other girls can get jealous. But then you put Connie with Daryl, so it's like you're not allowed not to like her anyway. So I don't think I've seen a single hate comment on Connie this entire time. You can't do it. It's impossible. So it's a perfect situation for a love interest for Daryl. Somebody that all the girls are not allowed not to like, right? So plus she does like the flexing and fun stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, you're going to like her. It's what it is. Next one comes in from Studio Wolf 1 who says, the Morning Star is a Latin name for Lucifer, the devil. Yeah, I know. I saw that when I was looking for PNG. I saw a picture of Lucifer. There's a show for Lucifer, right? I've never seen it. I don't know if it's... I think there's a comic too, right, for it. So I'm not into it. I've never seen it, but... yeah, and then we have Lucille, which is weird too. I don't know if Kirkman meant anything by that. I don't think he did. I think he just picked that for whatever. But, it's it's everywhere, right? And I think the oldest human being ever found, right? Her name was Lucy, right? So there you go. That's like a female name for it. And then there's the cat from, what is it? What's the damn Disney movie? There's a cat named Lucifer in one of the old Disney movies. Was it Cinderella, something like that? Oh, I forget. One of those old school Disney movies. So anyway, it's all over the place. Yeah, if you look for it, you'll find it. Velshin says, "Hey Trev, well, I don't know if Walking Dead meant anything by that. I think maybe they just picked the title because Daryl using the Morning Star was super cool, so they probably just picked that. I don't think there's social engineering in Walking Dead. People have asked me that before. Conspiracy theories don't apply too much to Walking Dead, even though people want to hear one for coronavirus and Walking Dead. I don't know why. Because the first lady who got the coronavirus, her name was Lucille too, right? So there's some other weird things too. Hey, Trev, I want to ask you, which fake Iron Hand is cooler or stronger? Aaron's or Merle's? Which one do you like better? So which, that's from Velshin, which prosthetic hand or which blade hand or mace hand do you guys like better? Do you think Aaron's is cooler or do you think Merle's is cooler? Personally, for me, Aaron's looks really cool, but Merle's was freaking awesome. I loved the way they showed Merle's blade hand. I thought that was so cool to where, he would just like walk up to walkers, stuff like that. And he would use it kind of in a cool way, or he would put stuff down with it, whatever. I think Michael Rooker said he actually got really good with it over time. Like as he was kind of using it over the course of the season and stuff, he got really good at doing stuff with it, just doing random things around. And he would like hold stuff and do, it was just cool. Or he'd like put it down and put it on it or something. It was just kind of neat. So I liked Merle's better, and I actually thought that Merle's, because it seemed like because he got so natural with it that it actually might have been more useful than a regular hand. Like if you got in a fight with him, it seemed like he was so good with it that it would be worse fighting Merle than it would be like close range fighting someone with an actual hand, because here he's got this blade hand that gives him like this extra distance, and it's not like he's holding it like Beta would to where the blade is down. It's like it's a projected part, it's a continued part of his wrist and forearm, so it's giving him extra range. And because he kind of fights differently with it because he's gotten used to it and is good with it, pretty damn dangerous, man. Like he can kind of stab you in some different ways that you wouldn't expect if you're fighting someone like maybe Beta. And not to say that Merle is, you'd rather fight Merle than Beta. I don't know if you can make that argument either, but Merle was super badass with that blade hand, and I think Aaron's really cool with his too, but I gotta go with Merle personally. Diana Rainey says, that's funny, Trev, because I thought the same thing. Who the heck are all these people from the video with the pictures of the hilltop? And you have all these different, extras in the pictures in the trailer from the hilltop and Alexandria, and we have no idea who any of them are. They're just like these random survivors that are just there. And then she says, I'll tell Angela on Twitter, LOL. So Diana Rainey. So tell her that guy on YouTube, Trevor, calls her Krang. Let's see what she thinks. See what she thinks about that. Tell her that too. So it's the way I turtleized Walking Dead, right? So you're right. You have Gimple is the Shredder. And then you have Angela is Krang. It's Krang. It's the brains, she's brainy, right? And then, I go with like Morgan's probably Master Splinter, because he's kind of walking. He's got the thing. He's got the staff, whatever. And I think he was trained by Ninja Turtle. He said one of the things. And then, well, what do you do with the Fear showrunners? It's perfect. I got it. It's perfect. The Bebop and Rocksteady. It's perfect, right? That's it. So that's good. Anyway, I'm working on my arcade. I'm doing some Turtle graphics and stuff, so I'm in the Turtles mode right now all the time, man. I'm just thinking, I got to put this here and put that there. It's so cool. And green lights and everything ooze, and it's awesome. Anyway, I'll show you guys when it's done. It's looking super sweet, dude. Super sweet. Okay, last one is from Bobby Briscoe, who says, Beta ran a 4.2 at the NFL Combine. He straight up took flight on him. He did. He ran pretty fast, man. Beta is super fast and super dangerous and super... But I guess you would be, if that's your way of life for 10 years, you would kind of develop some kind of maybe, advanced human skills that we don't really have in modern relaxed society. Like you're running around outside all the time, or you're at least up walking around. Like how many hours do we actually spend up walking around each day? Do we spend 15 hours a day walking around? No, you know what I mean? Or like that much. Like maybe some people, if you have a certain job where you're up and you're standing and stuff, maybe that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. But if you're a whisperer where you're like living on the ground and you're like running around all the time, walking with the dead, doing all this crazy stuff, you would become pretty hard, man. You'd be strong, you'd be hard, You might be light because you might not be able to keep as much weight on you because you're moving around so much. But you'd be pretty quick, I would think, on your feet, and man, you'd be a force to be reckoned with, as Laura, I guess, got to find out. Anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you think. If you like the video, thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, subscribe to the bottom left if you're new. That's it for this one, and I'll see you again soon for another. There's Trev, and I'm saying peace there, guys. See you soon.